Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Wofford College senior class of 2026, escorted by the class of 1976.
Please be seated. Students, colleagues, parents, grandparents, family members, and friends, welcome to Wofford College for the commencement of the class of 2026. I look out today on a group of students who have made the most of all that Wofford has to offer. I'm proud of the many ways you've grown over these years, inside and outside of the classroom. And when you walk across this stage to join the college's extraordinary alumni network, I know that you are ready, even if some of you may not want to leave. Today, we also offer a special welcome home to the members of the class of 1976. After streaking through life, you have returned today to renew your enduring dedication to Wofford and to usher our newest graduates into the wider world, a world in which you yourselves have balanced life and labor so successfully. Thank you for being with us. Please rise now as I ask the Reverend Ashley Wright Griffith, pastor of community life at Edenton Street United Methodist Church in Raleigh, North Carolina, and mother of Liam Griffith, a member of the class of 2026, to offer the invocation. After the invocation, I ask that you remain standing as Dr. Aaron Harp, assistant professor of music, leads us in Wofford's traditional commencement hymn, "From All That Dwell Below the Skies." Pastor Griffith.
Let us pray. Loving God, you are the source of wisdom and truth, and your mercies are new every morning. This morning, we give thanks for these graduates and for the ways you have guided and blessed them at Wofford. You have shaped them through friendships, discovery, study, challenge, study abroad, and surprise. You have given them courage, endurance, and new vision for their lives. Just as you have been with them here, remain with them wherever they go next. By your grace, empower them to use what they have learned to work for justice and compassion in the world. May we savor this day with gratitude and openness to all that lies ahead. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Shall sound from shore to shore, till sun shall rise and set no more. You may be seated.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Tim Schmitz, the college provost, and this year I have the distinct honor of introducing President Naif Samhat as our commencement speaker. By every metric, Wofford College is better today than it was 13 years ago when Naif Samhat arrived on campus as the 11th president of Wofford College. The endowment has grown from $167 million to more than $570 million. Net assets have increased, academic and athletic scholarships have almost doubled, and the quality of entering classes continues to break records. 8 new buildings fill out the campus map, and 9 other facilities have undergone major renovations. The grass is literally greener than it was 13 years ago, and President Samhat gets the credit. He's also a dear friend and mentor. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Naif H. Samhat.
Thank you, Tim, Provost Schmitz. Class of 2026, families and friends, if 4 years seem to go by fast, just imagine how 13 years feels. I'm honored to be sharing this day with my fellow graduates, both of us embarking on a new journey. Though I admit taking more than a decade to get through Dear Wofford is not something I would wish for any student or their family. Over the years, we've invited Wofford alumni to share their stories with seniors on commencement because they all have lessons from their own life experiences. Themes like relationships, perseverance, overcoming adversity, kindness, and compassion have defined remarkable journeys of Wofford alumni, as it will yours if it has not already. Having listened to these stories of our alumni over the years, I know mine would not stand up to comparison. But I do want to offer some thoughts on what it means to make a difference and the importance of what we do here at Wofford College. Moving into 148 Wofford Campus Drive, just right down there, touched and transformed the life Prema and I live in so many extraordinary ways. It has led us to unimagined experiences and treasured friendships and colleagues for whom we care deeply. And of course, each and every student over the past 13 years has touched our lives. Walking past the house we have lived in, you all have brought great joy to us. So over the past couple of months, as Prema and I have been thinking about our path, almost always, actually always, with a glass of wine in our hands on the porch of the house, we've been thinking of you, class of 2026. And my message to you is simple. You never know where you will go, who you will meet, and what you will do. You won't always know the difference you've made in someone's life, their day, their career, but every day presents that opportunity. Because you see, difference-making comes in all ways and forms, as many of you has practiced during your time here at Wofford. Working at local schools or community centers, engaged in social entrepreneurship or community-based research, all of which makes a difference in the lives of others. Difference-making occurs in the small and modest acts of kindness, or sometimes in grand gestures, carried on by people in near infinite ways around the world every day. We all have the opportunity to extend ourselves in helpful and innovative ways in whatever we do. And as your fellow students, Bella Agnello, Carter Catlett, Anna Catherine Fleenor, and Jen Taylor demonstrated in their research presented at the Terrier Expo, these acts of gratitude and kindness will not only make others feel better, but they'll also make you feel better and more positive. Just imagine the sum of these simple acts can touch us all, just as Edward Lorenz suggested in 1961 in his work on chaos theory. The fluttering wings of a butterfly may, in time, start a tornado somewhere in the world. Now, his theory was a little more complex than that, as evidenced by his paper in 1963, Deterministic Non-Periodic Flow, but I think you get the point. In my career, I've been privileged to work at small liberal arts colleges, teaching in the classroom and collaborating and administering with friends and colleagues and shaping the student experience. What we do here is important. What you have experienced over the past 4 years is important for your life and our world. That is because I believe education is the essential pathway to a good life and good society. So forgive my triteness, but places like Wofford are the butterfly that can change the world because education is vital to the human experience and therefore our future. Now, I've often said that what makes us different as a species is that we live not just to survive, but we live to thrive. What other species on Earth creates art, music, literature, or theater for the sake of expressing ourselves, our experiences, our emotions? What other species produces innovations of science and technology that has carried us from roaming lands for food and shelter to megacities and modes of transportation and exploration that see the deepest depths and unimaginably distant horizons? We even create artificial thought and being that challenge our own relevance and existence. These achievements are unique to humans. They impart to us an enormous power and responsibility. And in a great nation like ours, the exercise of power resides with us. And our Constitution is very clear on this point. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. That is an awesome responsibility, and people like me and my colleagues here and in colleges and universities around the country are very clear about the power of education to nurture a civic mindedness, the cultivation of a form of citizenship that emphasizes moral and intellectual growth for engagement in communities near and far for the common good. Education helps us develop respect for differences of opinion and worldviews, differences of faith and color, of gender, of self and others. These are fundamental to a social fabric whose values are expressed in our own Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. No other nation has fulfilled those founding principles through the continuous practice of electoral democracy as long as ours. And it is that practice and the founding principles of our nation that have given the exercise of citizenship authentic meaning and purpose to drive real social, political, economic, and cultural change, and to fight to expand rights and opportunities for all individuals as equals. That is why our promise is evident every day in the desire of people from around the world who literally risk their lives to take part in the American experiment. We are a nation built of immigrants. My wife is an immigrant. My grandfather and my mom immigrated to the United States. Fareed Zakaria describes the United States as the first universal nation, a country where people from all over the world can share in a common dream and a common destiny. Zakaria calls immigration America's secret weapon because it gives us a hunger and energy rare for a mature, wealthy country. Higher education is the nation's best industry, he adds, attracting the brightest minds to our schools and our shores, helping the United States remain at the forefront of the next revolutions of human endeavor. On this very campus, we have students from around the globe, and we see and feel how different perspectives and experiences enhance and enrich all our lives. Phrases that define our nation, such as we the people, all men are created equal, the first universal nation, are profound ideals. Are we perfect? Absolutely not. We have a history characterized by violence, displacement, discrimination, and all manner of ills that people have exercised upon one another, and that we at times struggle to come to terms with. Progress is not without interruptions and regressions. sometimes of a cruel and mean-spirited form. We are human, after all. But we must believe there is truth in the well-known words of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., spoken in Montgomery, Alabama on March 25, 1965. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Throughout our history, we have seen hope, progress, a recognition to attend to the ills of the marginalized, of those in need. We have self-corrected through the monumental practice of democracy, through the ability to express ourselves on the streets and at the ballot box over and over again. We are, as a nation, who we choose to be. That is why we must guard against those who desire to impose boundaries or regulate the search for knowledge, freedom of speech, and academic freedom that have characterized attacks on higher education in the recent past. Our institutions, like our nation, are not perfect. We reflect, indeed, often amplify social, political, and cultural upheavals that circulate in our nation, as we should. Not so long ago, race and identity politics infused our college campuses with policies, programs, and protests impacting dialogue inside and outside the classroom. More recently, we've seen the drastic reductions of funding for scientific, social science, and humanistic research, the demand at the state and federal levels to eliminate academic programs, including race and gender studies, to reshape Middle Eastern and other area studies programs, the arrest and deportation of students, and the dismissal of faculty and staff, and the shutting down of campus protests. All of this has instilled a great chill on college campuses across the country. This is not new, of course. In the 20th century, resistance to the First World War and association or accusations of communist sympathies were enough to suspend or terminate students, faculty, and staff from colleges and universities. But then again, it was a generation of students your age on campuses across the country who led protests and resistance to the Vietnam War and led social revolutions in support of environmental health, women's rights, and the civil rights movements of the 1960s. And today, that need to center the democratic project and the values of our founding in higher education is ever greater. Jonathan Cole observed in his work, The Great American University, that the protection of ideas and expression from political interference or repression has become absolutely fundamental to the university. It is a commitment that made American higher education one of the most powerful engines of American success in the past 150 years. This is something you today are a part of. Our college, your experience, in fact, are a pillar of American democracy, one that reflects our dynamic social and cultural fabric. As former president of Columbia University, Lee Bollinger, describes, the traditional conception of what happens here is important but too narrow. Institutions advance civilization. We prepare you for citizenship and productive lives. We create knowledge that advances national and global interests for the good. Yet he contends that higher education is a fifth branch of our system whose independence and integrity must be defended because college is built into our foundational ideals, where free expression and inquiry are essential to a vibrant democracy. I think Laurie Essig, professor at Middlebury College, describes it perfectly. It is extremely dangerous when those in power tell us we cannot analyze how power operates in the world. This is a case for higher education as a place where unfettered inquiry and debate can be carried on without fear, where engagement mirrors the evolving contours of the nation. In other words, as Henry Giroux has argued, higher education not only offers a space where dialogue and the expansion of the intellect can be encouraged, but also prepares students as critical agents capable of intervening in the world to make good on the promise of a substantive and inclusive democracy. Such a view of our college as a foundational institution of our democracy is a place where diverse peoples and ideas thrive in the doing of disciplines new and old in the pursuit of a greater and common good. That is why what's been happening on this ground and in that building since 1854 is important. That is why Wofford College makes a difference in our world. Now, as you leave this campus today, remember that your path will take you places you cannot imagine. You will meet people who will change your life, and you will touch and make a difference in the lives of others. And in doing so, you will fulfill the great promise of a Wofford education and the great promise of our nation. And that is important for us all. Congratulations, class of 2026, and thank you. I'm back. Will Mr. Christopher Carpenter, Chairman of the Wofford College Board of Trustees, Dr. Timothy Schmitz, Provost, and Ms. Jennifer Allison, College Registrar, they will now assist me in presenting the awards and degrees. Wofford College is one of a select group of colleges and universities authorized by the New York Southern Society to annually convey the Algernon Sidney Sullivan and Mary Mildred Sullivan Awards. The Sullivans moved from the South to New York during the mid-19th century and built distinguished careers. They became symbols of the highest standards of humanity achievement, and their friends established these awards as a tribute. The Sullivan Awards have been part of an essential part of Wofford commencement proceedings since the late 1960s. One of the recipients of each award must be a student and the other a non-student, but with a person with some interest or association with the college. The awards recognize individuals whose nobility of character and service sets them apart as examples to all. We will recognize the non-student recipients first. Student marshals, please escort Stacy McBride and Dr. James Bearden to the podium as the 2026 Mary Mildred and Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award recipients. Stacy McBride is a community volunteer who prefers to work behind the scenes, but her work in the community, leading, serving, and supporting to an array of nonprofit organizations in the Spartanburg community shines a light on her servant heart. Dr. James Bearden has changed the face of cancer care in South Carolina, but he remains humble and committed to his patients, his research, and mentoring future physicians. He served as president of the South Carolina Oncology Society and led initiatives to support statewide cancer trials for all citizens. Congratulations to them both. Next, I ask that student marshals escort to the stage this year's Mary Mildred Sullivan and Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award recipients from the class of 2026, Sonny Owens and Joe Khalil. Sonny Owens is a biology major with education in sociology and anthropology minors from Charleston, South Carolina. She's a community sustainability manager who is part of the Northside Living Learning community. Sonny will be pursuing a Master's of Arts in Teaching at Converse University after graduation. Joe Khalil is an International Affairs and Spanish double major from Bowling Springs, South Carolina, who is graduating in just 3 years. He recently ran 50 miles in a single day, more than I've run in a lifetime, to raise money and awareness for Miracle Hill Ministries and the Spartanburg Soup Kitchen. He's also inspired other students to spend the day in service on campus and the community. Both have led Wofford by example and honor our college and the Sullivans today. Thank you. It is now my privilege to present the Philip Covington Award for Excellence in Teaching of the Humanities and Social Sciences. Wofford College devotes all its resources to a single undertaking, the teaching and learning of undergraduates. This award, now presented for 20 years, is named after a beloved longtime professor and academic dean. The recipient receives a monetary award allocated over a decade, designed specifically to provide further opportunities for professional development. It is with great pleasure that I invite Dr. Rachel Vanderhill to the platform. Dr. Vanderhill is an associate professor of international affairs. Her current research focuses on digital repression and digital democracy, politics of authoritarian success, authoritarian soft power, and the politics, economics, and foreign policy of Central Asia. She's held a number of prestigious fellowships and loves helping students find similar opportunities. This year, for the 22nd time, Wofford College is pleased to award the Roger Milliken Award for Excellence in the Teaching of Science. The recipient receives a financial award allocated over a decade designed to provide opportunities for professional development. Roger Milliken served on the Wofford College Board of Trustees for 48 years, and he established the award to reward an outstanding caliber of teacher we have here at Wofford. The 2026 recipient of the Roger Milliken Award for Excellence in the Teaching of Science is Dr. Lori Cruz. Dr. Cruz, Associate Professor of Biology, launched a long-term study in 2022 to examine the productivity and survivorship of eastern bluebirds in the upstate, and she continues to lead student research on the subject. You will see during the spring bird feeders all over campus as part of that research, and students with clipboards taking notes. She travels with students often, most recently during an interim trip to Ecuador and the Galapagos Islands.
What's that? Oh, he wants to close. Of great significance at a college like ours is the departure of colleagues who have shared our labors on campus and in the classroom for many years. Please stand in the faculty section so that we can thank you for your work as teachers, mentors, and scholars. Professor John Fort, Associate Professor of Economics, has served the college for 24 years. And Dr. Cecile Nawadka, Professor of Psychology, has taught at Wofford for 27 years. We are grateful for their many contributions to our community of learners.
It is now the college's distinct privilege to award honorary degrees to two distinguished individuals and friends of Wofford College. Provost Schmitz will make these presentations, and in each case, the recipients are sponsored by members of the Wofford community.
Will faculty sponsor the Reverend Dr. Ron Robinson please escort Ashley Richardson Allen to the platform? Over 3 decades, Ashley Richardson Allen has represented the Richardson family in managing the Richardson Family Endowed Scholarship, the college's largest and most prestigious scholarship, including oversight of student selection and ongoing relationships with scholars. Ashley's first gift to the college was as a teenager when she offered a portion of her babysitting money to the Terrier Club. She continues to give quietly to support a variety of initiatives that benefit students, and she and her husband, Steve, are often on the sidelines cheering on Terrier student athletes. Ashley just completed a 12-year term on the Wofford College Board of Trustees, serving as vice chair since the 2023-24 academic year. She also led the Presidential Search Advisory Committee as co-chair, completing a successful search in March for the college's 12th president. Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty and the Board of Trustees, I present to you Ashley Richardson Allen so that you may confer upon her the degree of Doctor of Humanities.
Ashley Richardson Allen, in recognition of your good character and attainments, and on behalf of the faculty and trustees of Wofford College, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humanities.
Dr. Naif H. Samhat, please join Christopher A.P. Carpenter to my right. It's a short walk. Chris Carpenter has served 12 years on the Wofford Board of Trustees, including the past 5 as chairman. His leadership has helped guide Wofford through a complex higher education environment, bringing together college leaders and constituents around a shared vision of academic excellence, student access, and unprecedented growth and stewardship of the college's financial resources. Prior to that, he served as vice chair of the For Wofford campaign, which yielded gifts and pledges totaling more than $470 million. Chris personally has established several endowed scholarships for students, a faculty development fund, and the recently created Heidi Carpenter Study Abroad Fund in memory of his mother. He is a 1990 Wofford graduate and a 1994 graduate of Emory Law School. He is a longtime national political and policy strategist specializing in government relations and public affairs. On behalf of the faculty and Board of Trustees, I present Christopher A.P. Carpenter for conferral of the degree of Doctor of Laws. Christopher A.P. Carpenter, in recognition of your good character and attainments, and on behalf of the faculty and trustees of Wofford College, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws. Dr. Naif H. Samhat, please remain standing right there to my right. Since joining the Wofford community as the college's 11th president, Naif Samhat has led the college through 2 strategic visioning processes that have transformed Wofford. In addition to the construction or major renovation of 11 buildings, Naif also secured the largest gift in the college's history, $150 million from 1959 graduate Jerry Richardson. He increased engagement with the Spartanburg community, launched new marketing and branding initiatives, and was constantly looking for ways to build community, boost sustainability, champion the liberal arts, and enhance the educational experience for students. Naif has been a leader in higher education, serving as president of the Annapolis Group of Liberal Arts Colleges and on the IES Board of Directors. Past national board service also includes leadership on the Council of Independent Colleges, the National Association of Independent Colleges, and the NCAA Division I Board of Directors and Board of Governors. On behalf of the faculty and the Board of Trustees, I present Dr. Naif H. Samhat for conferral of the degree of Doctor of Humanities. Naif H. Samhat, in recognition of your good character and attainments, and on behalf of the faculty and trustees of Wofford College, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humanities. Will faculty sponsor Dr. John Lefebvre please escort Prema Rajpal Samhat to the platform? Dr. Lefebvre is escorting Prema to honor the memory of Lisa Lefebvre. When Naif became the 11th president of Wofford College, Prema committed to supporting Wofford as a full-time volunteer, hosting events, mentoring women, expanding the college's presence in the Spartanburg community, honoring employees, developing relationships with alumni, leading groups to her native India, and being an ever-present advocate for student success. A graduate of Bradford College in Massachusetts, Prema's professional career has been in hospitality and marketing, first with Oberoi Hotels and Resorts in Delhi, India, and later within the healthcare field. She became a U.S. citizen in May 2014, surrounded by Wofford family and friends. Prema has served on a variety of local and national nonprofit and foundation boards, including leadership with the United Way of the Piedmont, the Spartanburg Regional Foundation, and the National Association of Presidential Spouses. Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty and the Board of Trustees, I present to you Prema Rajpal Samhat so that you may confer upon her the degree of Doctor of Humanities.
Prema Rajpal Samhat, who I also know as the Big P, in recognition of your good character and attainments, and on behalf of the faculty and trustees of Wofford College, I now confer upon you the degree Doctor of Humanities. Oh, thank you. I would now like to recognize Wofford College students and one recent graduate who were commissioned yesterday as second lieutenants in the United States Army. I have no doubt these servant leaders will make Wofford College proud. Please stand while I call your name. And when all newly commissioned officers are standing, please join me in applauding their commitment. Hayden Canaday, Granville Chandler, Carly Cutinella, Garrett Dahl, Jack Fasano, Robert Joseph, Katie Sullivan, and Presley Wharf. Provost Schmitz will now announce the 2026 honor graduates and present the candidates for baccalaureate degrees. This graduation exercise also includes those who completed their work in December 2025 and some who will complete their program of study during the next few years. Some degrees will be conferred in absentia.
The honor graduate, or in this case, 6 honor graduates at Wofford College, must be intelligent, disciplined, and committed to working hard each and every day. Such is the nature of the academic enterprise at a Phi Beta Kappa liberal arts college. Each of this year's honor graduates earned a 4.0 GPA. Please stand in your seat when I call your name so that we may recognize you. Catherine Rose Gillum. Grace Anna Harrison. Jenna Ashlyn Hollis. Adam McKinley Hoyle. Matthew Grant Johnson. Riley Joy Stastny. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the 2026 honor graduates at Wofford College. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts and the degree of Bachelor of Science please stand? Mr. President, the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science have been duly instructed and examined by the faculty and have been found worthy. On behalf of the faculty, I present them to you for the conferring of their appropriate degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of South Carolina, upon completion of all the graduation requirements, with the recommendation of the faculty and the approval of the Board of Trustees of the college, I confer upon each of you, as appropriate to your course of study, the degree of Bachelor of Arts and/or Bachelor of Science.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degree please come forward individually to receive their diplomas? As is your tradition at Wofford College, I ask the audience to withhold expressions of congratulations until the entire group has been recognized. Adam Howard Adler, summa cum laude. Chizara Ohi Alegbe. Nisa Latera Anthony. In absentia? Lily Grace Bailey. Skylar Grace Baumgardner, cum laude. Elise Renee Bernhard, cum laude. Lauren Elizabeth Berrigan. Grace Teresa Blom, summa cum laude. Francesca Caroline Borghese. Annika Jo Brannon, summa cum laude. Suzanne Elise Brazil, magna cum laude. William Carey Brim, cum laude in absentia. Nico Pierce Brini. Natalie Rose Brown. Thomas Carter Brew, summa cum laude. Russell Antonio Brunson, Jr. Margaret Elizabeth Burnett, cum laude. Hayden Davis Canaday, magna cum laude. Nicholas Constantine Canutas, magna cum laude in absentia. Sarah Elizabeth Cape. Granville Thomas Chandler. Vivian Grace Chiamento, magna cum laude. Joe David Christian IV. Benjamin Taylor Citron, magna cum laude. Caroline Aislinn Clemens. Meredith Arden Cook, magna cum laude. Kristen Rose Cortamanche. Aaliyah Ray Craig. Catherine Ashley Crum, magna cum laude. Tanner Burke Cummings. Garrett Robert Dahl, cum laude. Emma Kate Daniels, magna cum laude. Christopher Champlin Davis. Gabriella Grace DePrima, in absentia. Eleanor McCurry Donahue, cum laude. Rachel Eleanor Dozier, summa cum laude, high honors in history. Cassie Bishop Drew, magna cum laude. Henry Dixon Edens. Sheldon Anthony Egger. Chloe Jean Elliott, cum laude. Harper David Epperson, cum laude. Molly Ray Yvette, cum laude. Charles Ross Falah. Jack Orion Fasano. Jonathan Eric Fayard. Avery Elizabeth Fields, in absentia. Oh, that was you. Oh, she's here. Okay. Sorry about that. John Corey Sullivan Fleming, in absentia. Marshall Williams Fleming, summa cum laude. Maria Teresa Flor, cum laude. Seth Ivy Caleb Foster, in absentia. Abigail Fuentes. James Sidney Fulmer III. Caroline Grace Gargano, magna cum laude. Mina Genchos. Nicole Carolina Getzinger. Cole Patrick Geyer, cum laude. Lyrical Dream Gist. Griffin Mosley Gore. Julia Faith Griffin. William Wright Griffith. Edwards Buste Grimble. Stephanie Lauren Gross, summa cum laude. Andrew Redmond Guth. Kelso Asa Harmoning. Grace Anna Harrison, summa cum laude. Emma Catherine Hedden, cum laude. Robert Griscom Herndon, cum laude. Grayson Millie Heron, magna cum laude. Clayton Cornelius Hickson. Caleb Ryan Hodge, in absentia. Jenna Ashlyn Hollis, summa cum laude. Lily Mary Horn. Avery Hampton Howard. Mason Walker Howard. Adam McKinley Hoyle, summa cum laude, high honors in English. Graham McDowell Hux. Quincy Dorian Hughes, in absentia. Eloise Simmons Hupfer, summa cum laude. Jordan Emma Jackson, magna cum laude. David Russell Johnson. Carrington Brooke Johnson. Virginia Grace Jones, summa cum laude. Hannah Grace Kelly, magna cum laude. Caroline Wyatt Kinnemer. Madison Dorothy Kern. Yusuf Ihab Khalil, summa cum laude. Kaylee Morgan Kaya. Kyle Ernst Klett. Bryce Knight. Geneva Badi Kabadou, magna cum laude. Lily Sophie Fu Crickagner, magna cum laude. Nicholas Scott Cusman. London Grace Ladner, summa cum laude in absentia. Olivia Marie Lamb, cum laude. Caroline Wells Langston. Brian Francis David Lavelle III. James William Lehman. Catherine Elise Lassane. Aiden Riley Lockhart, summa cum laude. Davis Williams Laminack. Lucas Benjamin Manning, cum laude. Forrest Townsend Matthews. Juliette Ruby Maxfield. Reese Hainsworth McCarthy, summa cum laude. Amy Carson McConnell. Hugh Gunn Pedraza McGee. Lori Ann McGee, summa cum laude. Molly Ann McMahon, cum laude. Jacob Lewis Miller, magna cum laude. Josephine Bertie Miller. Leah Faith Mitchell, cum laude. Laura Reese Montagna. Maeve Cook Morris. Colden Lee Mueller. Carson Page Neal, magna cum laude. Matthew Dean Newport, cum laude. Emma Ruth O'Connell. Shane Matthew Olander, cum laude, high honors in philosophy. Davis Austin Olds, summa cum laude. Christopher McAllister O'Leary. Aiden Andrew O'Reilly. Lillian Grace Orr, magna cum laude. Hatcher Johns Parker, magna cum laude. Ellis Joseph Parsons, magna cum laude. Kyle Daniel Parsons, summa cum laude. Joseph Alexander Parton. Stuart Joseph Patnod. Karis Leilani Phillips. Claire Elizabeth Penati. Pamela Ann Milliken Pope. Maximus Richard Pulley, in absentia. Kaylee Joanna Quitzaw. Emma Rose Wilson Radcliffe, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Ann Reams, magna cum laude. Lucille Charping Rencher. Millie Chuli Rice, summa cum laude. Tristan Allen Roney, cum laude. Nicholas James Ross, cum laude. Jose Fernando Ruiz Torres. McLean Elizabeth Sadusky, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Marie Sawicki. Thomas Blake Shirley. Nathan Seamus Symes, cum laude, in absentia. Ona Sinani, magna cum laude. Cameron Jaden Smith. Harper Wesley Smith. Lillian Carrington Smith, magna cum laude. Braylon Darius Smith Sapp. Kayla Renee Southwood, magna cum laude. Emma Catherine Stalteri, magna cum laude. Aubrey Lauren Stargel. Riley Joy Stastny, summa cum laude, high honors in art history. McCarver David Stokes, summa cum laude. Sarah Faith Strakov, summa cum laude. Lena Elizabeth Strauss, summa cum laude. Claire Evelyn Taylor, cum laude. Josephine Grace T.A., summa cum laude. Sophia Lee Thrasher, magna cum laude. Jane Rebecca Bobby Timmerman. Madison Grace Talamia, cum laude. Jackson Henry Tope, cum laude. Lawson Olivia Veal, cum laude. Nancy Ann Vincent, cum laude. Elizabeth Ellison Warren. Hannah Rain Weber. Sarah Frances Wilkinson. John Porter Wren, Jr., magna cum laude. We will now present the candidates for the dual degrees, Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science. Isabel Pearl Astwood, summa cum laude. Olivia Jeanette Bishop, cum laude. John Michael Bollinger III, high honors in chemistry. Joseph Sullivan Cahill, magna cum laude. Madeline Grace Carter, summa cum laude. Alice Annie Chen, summa cum laude. Lillian Eve Delat, summa cum laude. Hannah Diane Dozier, summa cum laude, high honors in environmental studies. Ian Matthew Eccles, magna cum laude. Caroline Elise Forrest, summa cum laude. Catherine Rose Gillum, summa cum laude. Margaret Ellen Head, cum laude. Matthew Grant Johnson, summa cum laude. Robert Megan Joseph, summa cum laude. Emma Elizabeth O'Brien, summa cum laude. Rohan Mahesh Kumar Patel, magna cum laude. Hayden Garrett Pendergrass. Catherine Candace Padrabarak, summa cum laude. Devin Alexander Roop, magna cum laude. Margaret Zoe Stapleton, magna cum laude. Samuel Whitlock Stuckey, magna cum laude. Lillian Isabel Vandegrift, summa cum laude. Ayush Verma. Hannah Elise Wall. Magnolia Kate Webb, magna cum laude. Hannah Meredith Wells, magna cum laude. We will now present the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree. Erin Paige Adams. Logan Mackenzie Adams, summa cum laude. Jack Mills Alderman, summa cum laude. Chloe Leanne Alexander. Downey Saucy Allen. Jacob Svante Anderson, cum laude. Joseph Brooks Armstrong. Margaret Eva Axelson, summa cum laude. Olivia Darcy Bagg. William Jake Bailey, summa cum laude. William Connor Barrow. Zion Ishmael Bennett. William Dolan Berger, in absentia. William Arthur Behringer. Bailey Paige Betzel, summa cum laude. Franklin Boynton Beverly Jr., cum laude. Andrew Haney Sobin Botros. Demaya LaFasia Brannon. Lily Rayanne Bridges. Andrew Mark Brown, cum laude. Christopher Taylor Brown, cum laude. Daniel Tyler Bryant. Chanson Marie Bullard. Sachi Shaban Bureau, cum laude. Alexandria Elizabeth Burnett, cum laude. Christine Spencer Byram. Devery Ryan Cagle. John Graham Campbell Canty, cum laude. Baker Louise Casto Waters, cum laude. Nathan Malik Childress. Winston Elizabeth Semino, cum laude. George Marshall Clark, Jr. Emily Elizabeth Colby. John Alexander Tyler Cole, cum laude. Elizabeth Meade Coleman, cum laude. William Bradford Collins, Jr. Christopher Charles Connell. Ariana Lee Cook. Samuel Anthony Cornett. Charles Worthington Crichton, Jr., cum laude. Kimberly Gale Crouch, magna cum laude. Jackson Allegra Crump, summa cum laude. Carly Marie Catanella, magna cum laude. Sarah Brock Daniels, magna cum laude. Brandon Derwin Davenport. Nancy Crawford Davenport. Benjamin Williams Davis, cum laude. Merritt Amanda Davis. Victoria Diane Davis, magna cum laude. Claudia Elizabeth DeArmond, cum laude. Samuel Ray Diebold, cum laude. Marguerite Millette Dillon. Donald Perry Douglas, magna cum laude. Amelia Elizabeth Dowling, summa cum laude. Lola Lee Downey. Joshua Eric Draheim, magna cum laude. Pierce Andrew Dukas, cum laude. Allison Jean Dulaney. Isabella Grace Duncan. Lydia Brooke Easler, cum laude. Ansley Brianna Elizalde. Sterling Seba Embry, magna cum laude. Hanson Matthew Englert. Hannah Weber Faison, in absentia. Carly Elizabeth Fanning. Madeline Gaston Farley, cum laude. Raul Fernando Feliz, Jr. John Kenneth Fermo. Matthew Paul Flanders. Ella Victoria Floyd. Hunter Hayes Foster, magna cum laude. George Christian Frank IV, summa cum laude. Jessica Danconceição Frere. Jake David Freudenheim, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Myers Futrell. Joel Awate Gama, magna cum laude. Will Nathaniel G., magna cum laude. Rocco Markley Gelati, cum laude. Owen James Gilly, summa cum laude. Riley Mia Godbold. Amanda Kelly Goldbach Amer, magna cum laude. Avery Lane Goodale. David S. Goodson V. Ellison Brooke Gower. Jack Thomas Grabarczyk, cum laude. Jasmine Alicia Grant. John David Gray IV, cum laude. Caitlin Ashley Greenwood. Wilton Edward Grice, magna cum laude. Lillian Elise Griffin. Anderson James Groves, cum laude. Lillian Elizabeth Guerrero, magna cum laude. Eliza Catherine Guthrie, cum laude. Lillian Claire Habart. Luke David Haldopoulos, magna cum laude. Ainsley Elizabeth Hamilton. William Henry Hammonds, cum laude. Millie Powell Hatchett, summa cum laude. Thomas Alexander Hazel, Jr. Abigail Emily Herpel, magna cum laude. Bailey Nicole Heron, magna cum laude. Jackson Alexander Hill. Anthony Dennis Hills III. Robert Calhoun Hillsman. Rebecca Jordan Hines. Alyssa Eastman Hines, magna cum laude. Haley Ann Herter. Nathaniel Lee Hopkins, magna cum laude. Charles Michael Horn. Madeline Rose Hill Hornsby, cum laude. Grace Lawton Howard, cum laude. Hannah Marie Hyatt. Erica Elizabeth Iaria. Jaden Samar Jeffrey. Grace Ann Johnson, magna cum laude. Bridger Charles Jones, magna cum laude. Emily Austin Jones, summa cum laude. Will Garrett Jones. William Paul Jones. Hannah Wiley Jopling, cum laude. Benjamin Andrew Jordan. Kennedy Grace Kaltz. Abigail O'Neill Kaufman, cum laude. Jade Kieran Kadar, cum laude. Gracie O'Quinn Keel, summa cum laude. Cohen Russell Kellogg. Garrison Foster Kemp. Paige Lauren Kenworthy. Connor David Kiggins, cum laude. Richard Leo King III. Ian Gabriel Kish. Jackson Hugh Kleiderline. Mary Hodges Knight. Nathaniel Garner Kruger, cum laude. Gabriel John Lagleva, magna cum laude. Katie Marie Lammers, summa cum laude. Sophia Tianling Lathbury. Emma Grace Lavender. Alexandra Wise Laycock, cum laude. Drake Alexander Lee Lesher, cum laude. Sosie Sylvan Lipscomb. Branford Lawton Little. Catherine Mackenzie Little, cum laude. Lydia Gray Lupo, cum laude. Piers Basson Luscombe. Enoch Ebenezer Maganda. Kylie Shannon Maidhoff, magna cum laude. Brandon Esambe Mena, in absentia. Ainsley Joe Mancini, magna cum laude. Thomas Phipps Manley, magna cum laude. Andrew Wilson Manley. Reed Christopher Mario, in absentia. Colin Scott Martin. Emily Jean Maston, cum laude. Lillian Ray McBroom, cum laude. Catherine Frances McClure, in absentia. Sarah Bradley McCorkle. Amanda Caitlin McCoy, summa cum laude. Amelia Faye McCurley, cum laude. Lydia Montague McLeod. Archer Beatty Mears. Elizabeth McLean Merrill, cum laude. Madeline Audra Miller. Rory Sean Armagh Miller II, cum laude. Thomas Bearden Miller, magna cum laude. Caroline Vera Mitchell, cum laude. Angela Brittany Moore. Emma Tristan Moore, summa cum laude. Lindsay Meredith Moore, summa cum laude. Nicholas Richard Morgan. Stephen McClure Mullen, Jr. Peyton Lelianne Murray. Leo Matthew Myers. Caitlin Nicole Nash. Daniel Stanislaw Nelson. Anna Ophelia Nichols. Robert Owen Nieders. Mary Lourdes Niemeyer, magna cum laude. Enos Obradovic. Robert Emmett O'Neill III, cum laude. John Arthur Orr III, cum laude. Sunny Lene Owens. Jordan Elizabeth Page, cum laude. Mia Faith Paliuka, cum laude. Caroline Reese Parker, magna cum laude. Gracie Maxine Parker, cum laude. Mikhail Patel, cum laude. Miles Wesley Pepper, cum laude. Jackson William Phillips. Darian Lee Pisacano, summa cum laude. Kate Marie Platt, cum laude. Eleanor Woodward Pope, magna cum laude. Dylan Ricole Porter. Sarah Adeline Porter, summa cum laude. Mary Catherine McLeod Potter, summa cum laude. Caroline Louise Pristup, cum laude. Benjamin John Radicia, in absentia. Gavin Michael Raff, cum laude. Anne Marie Rakoski. Ian David Rashid. Sarah Elizabeth Ratcliffe. John Andrew Redmond III, cum laude. Charlie Ann Rigobuto, summa cum laude. Mary Wilson Rayner, magna cum laude. Mark Anthony Rivera. Ethan Walker Rouse. Barrett Quinn Rowe, cum laude. Isabella Angeliki Rubio. William Scott Rush, summa cum laude. Sukhmeet Kaur Sagu. Lawton Harris Sally III, magna cum laude. Zion Keith Sampson, magna cum laude. Brooke Nicole Sayer, cum laude. Jonathan Mitchell Schaefer, magna cum laude. Abbott Taylor Schutz, magna cum laude. Mason Burnett Seegers. Grant Monroe Simons, magna cum laude. Caden Emmett Smith, cum laude. Emma Lee Smith. Jacob Earl Frank Smith. Micaiah Christine Smith. Sydney Kathleen Sohn. Catherine McNally Sowell, summa cum laude. Ansley Brooke Kaufman Springer, in absentia. Thomas Dale Stamper, cum laude. Aiden Kennedy Steele. Isabella Britt Steiner. Quentin Harold Madiba Stemler, magna cum laude. Catherine Elaine Stewart, cum laude. Bennett Carson Sturgill. Margaret Carol Sweet. Jennifer Egan Slozik. Annabella Katerina Tahana. Christopher Ryan Taylor, Jr. William Taylor IV, magna cum laude. Ella Lynn Tennant. Sarah Camille Terracina, cum laude. Savannah Kate Terry, in absentia. Alex Elliott Thibodeau. Emma Kylie Thomas, magna cum laude. Robert Baldwin Thompson IV, cum laude. James Strom Thurmond III, cum laude. Joshua Curry Todd, magna cum laude. Ainsley Page Toll, magna cum laude. Logan Lee Tribble, cum laude. William Douglas Troyer, magna cum laude. Evan Pierce Turk, summa cum laude. Elena Rose Valente. Paolo Andreas Vela, magna cum laude. Willow Grace Vick. Layla Natalie Villeda Chavez, summa cum laude. Ryan Alexander Vogt. Alexander Clark Wall, cum laude. Bella Brooke Wallace, magna cum laude. William Whitaker Webb IV, cum laude. Jaden Ash Weinstein, cum laude. Kelsey Peyton Wheeler, cum laude. Emma Catherine Williams, magna cum laude. Presley Maddox Wharf. Ellie Elizabeth Youngblood, magna cum laude. Stanley Lewis Zagrodnik, cum laude. Aruj Zainab, summa cum laude. Garrett Pratt Zemer, summa cum laude.
I got my special line. Well, ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2026, Prime and I thank you. We will take all these tickets and travel for the next 20 years. We're happy to be graduating with all of you. And before we finish up, a couple of items of business. I want all the parents and family and friends to stand up so the class of 2026 can recognize you. And I'd like all the faculty, staff, and coaches who are here to stand up so the class of 2026 can recognize you. Now, normally I'd finish this ceremony with some words of what I think is wisdom, but to my wife's great delight, and no doubt all of you, I know you've heard more than enough from me, and so I'll spare you that. But just remember what I said. As you leave this campus today, your path will take you to places you cannot imagine, You will meet people who will change your life, and you will touch and make a difference in the lives of others. So carry on today from our Wofford, and know that you have a home here on this beautiful campus. Come home often and reconnect with family, friends, the memories and mentors who have guided and supported and educated and lived with you for the past 4 years. Congratulations to the class of 2026. Following the benediction by the Reverend Andrew Baker Castawaters, Wofford class of 1995, and the parent of Lucy Castawaters, class of 2026, please remain standing as Dr. Harp leads us in the singing of the first verse of the alma mater. The faculty, platform party, and honorary degree recipients will recess first. We'll form lines, a congratulatory gauntlet, through which the graduates will pass. Class of 2026, please follow the lead of the marshals when going through this salute to you. Everyone, please join us in following the recessional for a lemonade reception on the lawn. Reverend Castawaters.
I invite all of you who are able to please rise and bow to your spirits. Graduating class, remember the words that President Samhat just spoke, the charge that he gave you. They echo the words Rev Ron spoke of last night when he said, you entered this time where you did not know where the journey would take you almost 4 years ago. And you're entering that liminal time once again, but you do so stronger and wiser, knowing you have conquered and prevailed over many challenges. So go with a terrier spirit. Hold fast to the friendships and relationships you have nurtured here. Update your professors and coaches and staff mentors. May your life bear the light and mark of your Creator. And may we all go forth in mercy and grace to love and serve others and the Lord. Amen.
On the city's northern border, reared against the sky, proudly stands our alma mater as the years go by. May